Hey, I'd like to welcome you to another episode of Mission Matters. My name is Adam Torres, and if you'd like to apply to be a guest on the show, just head on over to missionmatters.com and click on Be Our Guest to apply. All right, so today I have Sarantos on the line, and he's CEO over at Sarantos Melogia, and this episode and this interview is part of our AFM series, where we bring you the best of those that attended and participated in the American film market, which took place in Century City or Los Angeles, California. So, Sarantos, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. I'm excited to be here.
All right. So we got a lot to talk about today. I understand that I want to get into what you're doing in writing screenplays, how you got into that business, and like what inspires your work. But before we get into all of that, AFM, man, I believe you said it was your first year coming out. Like, talk to me. How was the experience?
Truthfully, it was awesome. I had a great time. It was my first year. I didn't know what to really expect. A little bit about me, I'm actually a solo music artist, singer-songwriter. I've been putting out music for the last 13 years. I've been writing since I was in third grade. And I honestly didn't know what to expect. I've been writing screenplays since I was in grammar school. And I recently started putting them out there. They won a bunch of awards, and I figured I should try to connect with people that might actually be able to purchase my screenplay or make a movie out of them. So that was kind of my motivation.
Man, from grammar school, where did you get that? Where did that come from? Like, not everybody does that. Where did that come from for you?
Yeah, Star Wars, Indiana Jones, all these classic. I'm an 80s child. Mm-hmm. And I absolutely love movies, watching them, writing. It's a passion. I'm all about the words.
But it wasn't just, you took it to the next level even back then, and you're like, wait, I want to make a movie. Let me write something. Like, where'd that come from?
I couldn't tell you. Like I said, lyrics and songwriting was my first love, and it just seemed like a natural extension so I was fascinated by what was up on screen. Yeah. So I just started writing. I had a bunch of ideas. Of course, I had no clue. Nowadays we have, Final Draft, which is professional screenwriting software. Yeah. And I didn't know the formatting, but the ideas and just throwing stuff together, I just loved writing on my little notebook.
Oh, that's great. I love it. This is a great story. So fast forward a bit now. Like, talk to me about how you progressed through your, obviously from the early days of writing as a child to now creating full screenplays. Like, talk to me about where you're at now.
Yeah, so I've written probably over 100 screenplays through the years.
Wow.
And over the last maybe 4 or 5 months, I have about 5 features and 2 TV series out there. And I kept reading, watching videos, trying to figure out where to put them. And I learned about some contests. So I put my stuff on the Blacklist, ISA. I've won a few contests, been semifinalist, been quarterfinalist in a bunch of them. And the cool thing about screenplays is they give you feedback. So whether you win or you come in, runner-up or honorable mention, they give you feedback, which I've used to make them even better. And It kind of taught me even about the process. That's what's different than the music business. You can't, try to get feedback on a song. It's really difficult to get solid feedback, and everyone's got an opinion, but screenwriting is a lot easier to get professional opinion.
That's great. I didn't know that either. Like, that's a good comparison. That's a great insight. I didn't really realize that. So it feels like becomes maybe part of the process, right? Because then you get to go back, maybe rework something, or you take that learning into your next project or idea. Or am I off on that?
No, you're 100% right. Like, what I have found, and again, you kind of find the more legitimate contests, and there's some like the Santa Barbara. There's some that give you great feedback where you're like, wow, this isn't just somebody saying, oh, the dialogue should be better or whatever. And the cool thing I've realized, and I realize this in the world of music, everybody thinks their shit is great, but I think it's all about editing and making it better. And you got to be very critical of your work. And in screenwriting, it's a lot easier to be that. So on most of them, I've revised it like 10, 15 times. And what happened at AFM was wonderful because I had no contacts. I had no idea what was going to happen there, but I left into meeting some people. And of course, the best thing you want is for them to say, send me your script. And you don't want to embarrass yourself because but if you've gone through these contests and vetting and you say, hey, it was rated 90th percentile on Blacklist, you know that it's not going to embarrass you, right? And the more you do it, the more confident you get. And your point was great. I mean, you learn. When you get this feedback, then you apply it to your other screenplays too.
That's amazing. I love it. That's hopeful and I think that's great insight for any of the upcoming screenwriters who maybe haven't gone that route yet of entering into contests and other things like that and trying to, make it happen. So I think that's really helpful. Switching here just slightly on the topic, I know that you mentioned you're a musician, so you're also a member of the Recording Academy. Talk to me about that a bit.
Yeah, so I'm going into my 13th year of officially putting stuff out there. So I've been putting out one song every month, a lyric video, a music video. I'm an author because, like I said, I'm a nut. I love to write. And each song is a book chapter in a fiction fantasy book. So at the end of the year, the 11 songs get put into a book. So I've released 4 trilogies already. And I just love doing it.
You are a freaking creative powerhouse.
I try, man. So
what the heck, man? I don't know. You're putting out work. Continue.
Yeah. This year I was lucky enough to get into the Recording Academy, which is the Grammys for people that don't know.
Yeah.
And that was wow, this is like a childhood dream I had. So I was super excited. And to your point, I'm going to keep doing this till the day I die. So I also, at the end of the year, put out a surprise CD that's an instrumental. So I've done the surprise instrumental this year is relaxing music for dogs. But I've done everything you can imagine, from meditation, plant instrumentals, solo instrumentals for film, for TV and movie cues. So I this is actually my 23rd and 24th album I'm putting out this year.
What fuels this level of productivity for you? Because it's unique. I've done a lot of interviews, and just the quantity and and what you're doing and the different variation of products too, from screenplays to music to, like you said, you're all about the words. But what fuels this?
I just have this passion for creating, and I hear people sometimes talk about writer's block, and I'm like, well, I don't have to worry about that because I have 3,000 songs on my hard drive. And for me, I have to, and what's weird is I don't even look at a lot of the old stuff. So I will be at the gym working out, or I'll listen to a song, or I'll drive by an ad, or I'll watch a movie, and it's a phrase. And my wife gets annoyed with me because she's I'm always making notes to myself or melodies or whatever. But she's she'll hear me the weirdest thing. I have a song coming out in March called A Black Thong. And I actually also have a screenplay I wrote for that, which is very cool. And we were watching some movie and someone said something, A Black Thong. And I was like, hey, Siri, basically remind me to write a song called A Black Thong. And my wife's looking at me what is wrong with you? But I just constantly, my notes, I have so many notes. I hate to say it, the last year, I don't even look at the ones for books or the ones for songs or screenplays because I'm just inundated. And sometimes I'll kind of breeze through and say, hey, I'm free, tonight, nothing going on. And I kind of try to find something to write about, but I love it. I just love it. People are out doing reels or checking TikTok. I'm like a nerd, man. I'm always writing. Anytime my friends or my family don't want to hang with me, I'm just writing. It's just what I love to do. I get lost on my computer.
That's awesome. You said, no, you guys don't want to hang out? Fine, I'm going to go write. I love that.
And you know how people are don't mess with Taylor. She'll write a song about you.
Yeah.
Don't mess with me, man.
I was just going to say, don't mess with him, man. You missed that meeting. Oh, that's a song. you might get a diss track in that one. No, I'm just playing.
Yeah. Actually, it's funny you say that because I wrote a horror film called He's Easy to Like. And one guy at ASM was like, well, tell me about that. Why'd you write that? It's about a dentist who basically is the perfect guy. Everybody likes him. And basically he ends up murdering his wife's family one by one with, quote unquote accidents, and then killing her. And they're like, I go, well, actually, I kind of was annoyed at my in-laws and my brother-in-law, one time they're looking at me. They just started laughing. They're like, "Oh my God!" I got to remember not to piss you off. I was
That's true. That's true. Oh man, that's great. That's great though. Just the quantity, and I feel and especially nowadays, the need for writing. There's always a need for writing new ideas, new ways to form things, new ways to present. So you're a creative powerhouse, that's for sure. I'm scared to ask you the next question, man. So what's next for you? We're recording this towards the end of the year. We're gonna sneeze, and it'll be the next year already. We'll be in 2026. And what's next? What's on the agenda?
So I'll tell you what, I have all these cool things I've been working on. I have this thing called the Fake It Till You Make It World Tour, which is very tongue-in-cheek and kind of witty and funny. I think trying to reveal my sarcastic, comedic persona a little bit next year. People that know me, I wear it on my sleeve and I'm very upfront and honest, but I think the fans that interact with me get that, but I want that to be more kind of the lead next year. And I really think that even though it's been like 2 weeks, since the AFM, I have some leads. I actually had someone email me that they're going to finance the film. And not just buy my screenplay, but, that's the hard part, right? You could sell a screenplay and it never gets made. You could attach actors, directors, producers, but the financing. So when I got that email, I was like, that's cool, because my ulterior motive too is I'm like, all right, yeah. You can have the screenplay. You don't have to give me $5 million for it. You could give me, whatever, but how about one of my songs is in the movie, right? So to me, I kind of see how it all fits together. That's kind of my mission here.
Well, the good part is that you're making stuff, you're creating. So I feel like that. I always try to tell people that I'm like, yeah, I know, like you can talk about it, but just make something. The more you make stuff, the more power you have, or the more you just have to bring to the table. Not even power, but just the more you have to bring to the table. There's so many people that talk, but if you make something, and you've been out there for the writers out there, you've been talking about a screenplay or this or that or whatever, like finish one. You know what I mean? Like have something to bring to the table. Like a complete something is what I like to tell people. Complete something. And quality is subjective. There's screenplays that have been made and other things that have been made that maybe some people don't like and other people do like. But at the end of the day, at some point, if you want to break into different levels, you have to put yourself out there,
Yeah, and that's the hard part. I think we all know friends or family members that talk, I want to write a book, or I want to, and you never do it. And what happened to me, I had all this content, and my dad got lung cancer for the second time, and after a couple of years of battling, passed away. And I looked at that years ago, and I said, you know what? I got to start doing this. I don't want to be on my deathbed and be like, I never gave it a shot. And like a year and a half after he passed away, I started my journey putting this stuff out there. And I would urge everybody, start. Like you said, don't keep it inside, and you will get better, especially if you keep working at it. And my second piece of advice, never quit. It takes 10, 15 years to become an overnight sensation, man. And I think people quit way too early.
Yeah, I have to agree with that. Well, Sarantos, man, this has been a lot of fun having you on the show today. I feel like you got something else to write here. I don't want to take up too much of your time. You got to go create something, but this has been awesome. I've really enjoyed this time. If somebody is listening or watching this and they want to follow up and follow your work, how do they do that?
Yeah, so Sarantos is basically my name in Greek, which is Sam. So it's Sarantos. If they Google Sarantos music or screenplays, I'm on socials. I'm all over the place, YouTube. But the website where they can find every link to anything they want is melogia.com, which in Greek means with words, since I'm all about the words. So it's www.melogia.com.
Fantastic. For everybody listening, just so you know, we'll definitely put some links in the show notes so you can just click on the links and head right on over. And speaking of the audience, if this is your first time with Mission Matters and you haven't done it yet, hit that subscribe or follow button. This is a daily show. Each and every day we're bringing you new content, new ideas, and hopefully new inspiration to help you along the way on your journey as well. So again, hit that subscribe or follow button. It's a daily show. We got plenty of great things planned for you, and we don't want you to miss a thing. And Sarantos, man, been an absolute pleasure getting to know you and hearing more about your work. And I have no doubt I'll be hearing more about you. So thanks for coming on.
You're welcome, and thank you so much for having me.